So hello Rafael and welcome to this interaction session. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm an independent designer. I've been freelancing for full time for 13 years, but I'm doing freelancing for 20 years. I can't even remember. I've worked in advertising agencies and now I'm working on my own. I'm specialized in design systems, especially architecture, but also do branding work. I work with a lot of clients from different countries, Canada, United States, Brazil, Portugal, and across Europe. And being a freelancer, it's quite challenging, as a lot of people know. But I'm being able to navigate the challenges, and I have a lot of connections in the startup world with a lot of friends who have companies. So it helps me have some jobs and regular work. But and it's very aligned with my lifestyle. So I'm also a musician on the side. So I've already released an album, and it's something I want to do more, but I don't have time for everything, unfortunately. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm Portuguese and I'm living in Lisbon.
Okay. How is your life over there in Lisbon?
It's great because Portugal has great weather. Not right now because it's been raining a lot, but it's really great because it's safe. The food is amazing and we have a lot of sun. I play sports. I have the beach like 30 minutes away, like 10 minutes away by car. So and the river, so it's great.
That's good. So like another question that I wanted to ask you was that what differences do you felt like in terms of your interactions in the design community from Portugal and the design community from the rest of Europe?
The design community in Portugal has a lot of foreign people.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in Lisbon, communities I'm in are from people, they're not Portuguese, but they come to Lisbon and they start because they have, in Portugal, although there's an ecosystem of startups and entrepreneurs, people are very risk averse. They complain a lot about everything. So, and most of my friends have their own companies and work by themselves because that's the kind of mindset I like to be surrounded with. So the communities I see in Portugal are not very different from the ones I see in Europe because most of those people have already lived abroad or they have family outside of Portugal. So philosophy it's basically the same.
Mhm. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was that from your experience of working with different clients and different companies across Europe, what separates a visually good designer from a truly strong product designer?
A product designer thinks more about all the touch points of the product, not only the visual. So the product design needs to be more in touch with the analysts, with the UX part, with the research part. Um, the visual design is just one single small part of it. I would say that you could be a very good product designer without even being a good visual designer.
Yeah,
So, and the opposite is also true because you could be a very good visual designer. You can do like tailor your UIs and to the brand and be very precise with your aesthetics. But you don't have like a grasp of the overall strategy of the product. And I think the product designer needs to be more in touch with the strategy of the company and the business.
that was a very insightful answer. Thank you. Another question that I have is that what advice would you give to someone who is starting out, to young designers? Because the landscape is changing so fast with so many AI tools coming into the picture. It's getting very difficult to pinpoint on what tools to pick and what kind of design directions to take in your career. So, what would you advise to a young designer who is starting his career in European design market?
Don't get scared about AI.
Okay.
Tools come and go, change. My education was around the tool that's no longer available. It was Macromedia Freehand. I've changed tools multiple times. It doesn't matter. Before Figma, I was using Sketch, and it took me 2 days to move from Sketch to Figma because the principles are there, the foundations are there. So Let me tell you a story. Like in my course, the typography lessons were that we need to take a printed text, we need to cut all the letters one by one, and then we need to glue them together so we can find the right spacing between the letters. Physically, yeah, yeah. So we can understand the relationship between different shapes, more rounded letters with more squared letters. What will be the ideal spacing between them? Because they change. What I mean is that you need to work on your foundations. If you don't understand typography, coloring, hierarchy, alignment, and all that, I also did some exercises around where you need to look at the cover of a newspaper, and we try to identify just by using shades of gray the hierarchy of the content, the headlines, the photography. So we need to reduce that to grays. That kind of foundations are more critical than a specific tool, because as soon as you have this, you can apply it to any specific tool. And I know that a lot of people are afraid of AI because it might take their jobs and all that. I've seen that with young people because this is their first revolution, their experience. So if they don't know what's on the other side, I know I will produce. I know because I've gone through a lot of different changes. I know that the AI is like a different change. I have the confidence, and I want to give the young people the confidence that they will be able to overcome this. They will adapt.
Yeah, I think it's kind of true as well. To follow up just on what you said, during my master's also, it was like the professor advised me one crucial thing, that you should take printouts of the portfolios and screens that you see are very good and good in layouts, and take those 10-20 pictures and like put it up on the wall in front of you, and then look at it every single day, so that it clearly defines the layouting and principles inside your head without having to look at it.
Yeah, it inspires you. It inspires you, and it becomes automatic, right? You embed those rules on you.
Yeah, so one of the last questions that I wanted to ask you is that when basically we are designing for a scalable products, how do you ensure the consistency in UI without limiting creativity?
That's tough. And as a design system architect, it's a constant challenge. I have to talk with the team leaders, with the designers, with the development team, with the directors, and make everyone aligned with the approach. And sometimes it requires saying no to some things because it's better for the project. It's hard to say no to people, but I need to take care of the health of the system. Sometimes most of my day is just meetings or alignment meetings, which is very hard because I like to be very hands-on, creating components and actually solving. Because in a lot of cases, there's already something in the system that solves the issue, but people don't know where to look, how to get there. The documentation is not good, or whatever reason, or they didn't search the system, or they are very used to build custom stuff for their own project, which is like working in silos. I'm doing this component only for me, but in the design system world, you need to be more generous and more think about that everything that's built, it's for everybody else. So a lot of people are gonna be using it. So part of the challenge is that the balance between not saying no, but saying no right now, but maybe in the future we can have that because sometimes the priorities change. It's very complex. It's a constant conversation being a design system architect. Constant, constant. You have to.
Yeah,
And promote those conversations. Yeah, and promote those sessions.
So how does a day in your life as a solo designer working look like?
It depends, but usually I'm working on 3 projects at the time. I don't usually don't have more than that because I already tried and I'm not capable of. Usually I have projects which are very long, like they take months to do. So I want to make sure I'm responsible with the allocation of my time, and I need to make sure that I reply to everyone in the same day. I could be working on 3 different projects. What I mean by working is that actually going to Figma or something and building components, layouts, or I could be in a meeting reviewing something other designer did, because I also supervise other designers. So it's a challenge to navigate all that. In some cases, I block days, full days, so I can be focused on a task, so I don't allow other people to overbook me. It's email, Slack, Teams, LinkedIn, Figma. It's basically a mesh of everything. Um, but it's really fun. It's really fun because it allow me to connect with different industries, different people. I'm having a lot of work to do. So yeah, but it's a challenge to
Then it
navigate
will be an
everything.
interesting follow-up to ask you that how often do you think is taking off time and not getting burned out important? Taking vacations?
Oh yeah, at the beginning it was really hard for me to take vacations because my rationale was I would only take vacations when I don't have any work. So I wasn't having any kind of vacations because I was constantly with work, and I was obsessed with work, more work, more work, more work.
Easiest
Um,
recipe for
and
burnout.
also, yeah, and also as a freelancer, if you don't work, you don't receive any money. There's no income.
Yeah.
There's no paid vacations, right? And when you go on vacations, you also have expenses because you travel or go anywhere. So on one side, you don't have income and you have expenses. So it's like, it's very hard. So at the beginning, I didn't take much vacations. I was just taking like 1 or 2 days here and there, managing my allocation, my workload. And I was working on the weekends, at night, and all that, the usual stuff, the usual picture of a freelancer. Right now, I don't work on weekends. I don't work at night. I won't. I only do that if there's like an urgency, specific urgency. Like it has to be like a very hard reason for me to do that. And I can take vacations whenever I want. I just decide. I just plan them. Last year, I lived abroad. I was in Mexico 3 months. I was in Colombia. I was in Brazil for Carnival. So I was able to do that because I'm a freelancer, but my productivity was very low because I was in this mix of vacation slash work. I was in my hometown. I was with my setup.
Yeah, you can
But
never really tap out from your zone of productivity or zone of vacation, and like it creates a mismatch
yeah,
all the time.
and I need to embrace it because if I want to travel, I need to recognize I want to be as productive as I am when I'm seated at my desk with the perfect conditions. If I'm working on a coffee shop, I won't be as productive because there's a lot of noise, a lot of people, the music, and all that. So that's the downside. But the upside is that I can travel, I can be whatever I want. I can go to my parents' house and be there and working remotely. So and I can manage my time the way I want. There's no total freedom because that doesn't exist. It's a romanticized view of freelancing, but I have flexibility to manage my time. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Rafael, for being so considerate and sharing
no worries.
so much insight from your experiences. And I would hope that we
Thank
continue to
you.
stay in touch.
Sure. That's it.
Thank you.